Hi there, my name is Deborah Wasserman and I'm excited to be this week's studio visit artist with I Like Your Work. I live in Jackson Heights, Queens, and my studio is located in Woodside, nearby. I primarily work with paintings. I work large format, medium, and small with surfaces such as canvas, wood, and paper. The painting that you see behind me is a painting of landscape and represents some of the work that I do. I am very interested in aspects of belonging, identity, and climate change, and also our relationship with the great Mother Earth. I was born in Brazil and I was raised in Israel, and I often create hybrid landscapes that have elements of both. I also paint a lot of elements of destruction because somehow I feel inside me a need to express a prophecy towards a very unsettling future, and looking at what's happening now with humanity and the earth. I think we're not heading to a good place. So a lot of my work has elements of brokenness, distraction, and even mourning. I attach to some of my paintings torn rugs and torn clothes, which sometimes aid me in my process, the rugs themselves, and also since I wore some of this clothing, or my children did, they represent the body. There's just also something about tearing the cloth and destroying something that expresses that sense of distraction that I was talking about. Okay, so let's get to visit my studio. Yesterday I had a visit with a collector, so you're not going to see process and works in progress. You're gonna see a super organized studio, more like a gallery where I pulled everything away and I pulled the work that I want to share with the collector out. As you see, a lot of pieces leaning against one another. I have drawings on the floor that I showed yesterday, which I organize in clusters according to orientation, horizontal, vertical, and themes. I pulled these drawings during the visit so they don't obstruct our movement. Here I have some smaller pieces and a frame drawing. In this corner, I usually display work that is smaller work on panel, 11 by 14. Some of the pieces are more abstract with a special dripping technique that I discovered accidentally. And some of them are more figurative. This happens to be an abstract one. So I wanted to focus on this particular painting. It's a painting that I finished a year ago and I was never super happy with. So a few months ago, I came back to work on it, and now I'm actually really pleased with the way it came out. This is a landscape. This could be anywhere, but I was kind of inspired and moved by a few serious floods and natural disasters that occurred in America and elsewhere. So I wanted to have this more rural landscape. It's not like an urban city, and show the amount of distraction and loss that is happening right now worldwide because of climate change and mismanagement of our natural resources and our usage of energy. The way I create the pieces, they are created simultaneously with abstract gestures and stains. And then I attach pieces of clothing, torn clothing and cloth to my work, which for me, they stand for body and also for people. That's why I don't need to use the figure in my work. I refrain from it. So the clothing and even some of these shapes and the plants, and of course the houses and homes, they're like habitats of people. So I can tell a story without showing figures. You know, the story is the story of loss, of destruction. It's a little bit of a personal kind of nightmare to be pulled like that by water into the oblivion. To share this painting too, it's called Cacao Bitter Lord. It's about the cacao industry, which is an industry of exploitation, whether it's child labor or the amount of resources, water and energy that it takes to grow the cacao fruits so we can enjoy them. And you know, chocolate can be very fancy and expensive, and what it takes to grow it is just not a very sustainable process. As I said before, the word exploitation. So, you know, there is a machete here, is like a metaphor for the cruelty of the process, slashing through this tree, which is exuding this white kind of liquid that is dripping into the ground. And there is a hand stemming out of the tree that is holding a fruit. I already mentioned that I'm not so interested in ever painting a full figure, but evoking humans, evoking people with attributes of body, whether it's torn clothes and cloth, whether it's a hand or an eye. I do pay a lot of attention to textures, like a lot. I spend a lot of time getting into the painting and trying to get the right texture. I love tree bark. I just love it. And you know, when I get to walk outdoors, I do like a lot to touch the trees and put my fingers and nails in the bark and just feel how it feels. Here's just a few more rugs or pieces of cloth attached on the top. And you know, when you can't come close, some parts are super abstract. Like you look at this and say, what is happening here exactly? Certain things that happen in a process, I just let them be. Thank you so much for taking the time to look at this video and visit the studio with me and hear about my ideas and process. I really appreciate that you stayed engaged with me throughout. If you would like to see more of my work and to follow me, you can find me on Instagram at Deborah Wasserman Art, and you can also visit my website at www.deborahwasserman.com. I Like Your Work published a full interview with me with questions and answers at ilikeyourwork.com/studio-visit-artist or studio visits. I would like to wish you a great week and stay creative and inspired and true to yourself. Thank you.